Welcome, seekers of light and truth. In today's video, we delve into the sacred practices that create a bridge between our physical world and the luminous realms beyond. These are the 12 habits that spirits of light are naturally drawn to, habits that can transform your everyday experience into something extraordinary. Gratitude as a daily practice. When we awaken each morning, we stand at the threshold between worlds. This moment offers us a sacred opportunity to align with the vibrations that spirits of light naturally gravitate toward. The first and perhaps most transformative habit is the practice of daily gratitude. These enlightened beings understand that gratitude is not merely a sentiment, but a powerful frequency that resonates throughout the universe. When you consciously acknowledge the blessings in your life, from the air filling your lungs to the sunrise painting the morning sky, you create ripples of positive energy that extend far beyond your immediate experience. Begin by setting aside time each morning to enumerate 3 specific things you're grateful for. Speak them aloud, write them down, or simply hold them in your heart with sincere appreciation. Notice how this practice gradually shifts your perception from scarcity to abundance, from limitation to possibility. As Edgar once observed through his profound intuitive insights, the more grateful we are, the more we receive to be grateful for. This wisdom encapsulates the cyclical nature of gratitude. It both recognizes abundance and creates it simultaneously. Spirits of light are particularly drawn to those who express gratitude even amidst challenges. This elevated perspective demonstrates a soul's maturity and understanding of life's deeper purpose. When you find gratitude in difficult circumstances, you transcend the material plane and connect with the higher frequencies where these luminous beings dwell. The sacred power of inner silence. The second habit cherished by spirits of light is the cultivation of inner silence. In our modern world of constant noise and distraction, the soul rarely experiences the profound stillness necessary for spiritual communion. Yet it is precisely in these quiet spaces that light beings can most easily reach us. Set aside at least 15 minutes daily for complete silence. This isn't merely the absence of external sound, but the quieting of the internal dialogue as well. As you practice, you'll notice the space between thoughts gradually expanding, creating room for higher wisdom to enter. During these moments of sacred silence, imagine your consciousness as a clear lake, perfectly still and reflective. This state of receptive awareness creates an invitation for light beings to approach and share their subtle guidance. Their messages rarely come as thunderous pronouncements, but rather as gentle knowings that arise from the depths of your stillness. The practice of inner silence also cleanses your energetic field of discordant vibrations that accumulate through daily interactions. This purification process naturally attracts spirits of elevated consciousness who resonate with clarity and peace. The liberating practice of forgiveness. The third habit that draws spirits of light is the practice of genuine forgiveness. Nothing creates more energetic density and blockage than harbored resentments. These emotional weights anchor us to lower vibrational states and create barriers that light beings cannot easily penetrate. True forgiveness isn't about condoning harmful actions, but about releasing yourself from the bonds of bitterness. It is an act of spiritual sovereignty, a declaration that you choose freedom over the prison of grudges. Begin by identifying one person toward whom you hold resentment. Visualize them standing before you and silently express, "I release us both from the energy of this pain. I reclaim my peace." Notice the immediate lightening of your energetic body as you practice this liberation. Spirits of light recognize forgiveness as one of the most challenging yet transformative practices on the spiritual path. Each act of forgiveness raises your vibrational frequency and opens channels through which guidance and grace can flow more abundantly, harmonizing with nature's wisdom. The fourth habit beloved by spirits of light is conscientious care for the natural world. These beings understand that all creation is interconnected in a sacred web of life, and our relationship with nature directly affects our spiritual development. Take time each day to consciously connect with some aspect of the natural world. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Listen to the wind's whispers. Observe the methodical growth of plants, or honor the water that sustains all life. These simple acts of recognition strengthen your bond with the elemental forces that spirits of light work through. When you tend to a garden, express gratitude before consuming food, or make choices that reduce harm to the environment, you demonstrate respect for the divine intelligence expressing itself through nature. This reverence creates resonant pathways through which light beings can more easily connect with your consciousness. The creative power of kind words. Among the most cherished practices of enlightened beings is the conscious use of kind, uplifting speech. Spirits of light understand that words carry vibrational frequencies that continue to resonate long after they've been spoken. Each word you utter creates ripples in the fabric of reality, affecting both the speaker and receiver in profound ways. When you choose to speak with kindness, even in challenging situations, you literally generate luminous energy fields around yourself. These fields act as beacons, attracting spirits of light who naturally gravitate toward harmonious vibrations. Conversely, harsh or judgmental speech creates dissonant patterns that repel higher guidance. Begin by observing your speech patterns for a full day. Notice how often criticism, complaint, or cynicism enters your vocabulary. Then commit to transforming these patterns by speaking only what is true, kind, and necessary. This practice requires vigilance, but yields remarkable spiritual results. Consider the power of blessing others through your words. When you genuinely praise someone's qualities or express heartfelt appreciation, you're not merely engaging in social niceties. You're activating healing frequencies that nourish both souls. Spirits of light often work through such exchanges, amplifying the positive energy being generated. Even when speaking about difficult topics or addressing problematic situations, maintain the discipline of compassionate communication. This doesn't mean avoiding truth, but rather delivering it wrapped in wisdom and care. As your speech patterns elevate, you'll notice a corresponding elevation in the quality of spiritual guidance you receive. Service, the language of light. The sixth habit that resonates strongly with spirits of light is selfless service to others. When you extend yourself to meet another's need without expectation of recognition or reward, you align with one of the fundamental principles of higher realms, unconditional giving. Light beings recognize service as spiritual alchemy. The act of genuinely helping another transforms both giver and receiver, dissolving the illusion of separation that keeps humanity bound to lower frequencies. Each act of service, no matter how small, creates openings through which divine light can pour into our world. Begin by incorporating one conscious act of service into each day. This might be as simple as truly listening to someone who needs to be heard, offering encouragement to a discouraged heart, or using your specific talents to ease another's burden. The form is less important than the spirit behind it, a willingness to be a channel for something greater than yourself. Notice that the most powerful service often happens in ordinary moments rather than grand gestures. A meal prepared with love, a door held open with presence, a moment taken to acknowledge the essential dignity of a stranger. These seemingly minor actions carry extraordinary spiritual potency when done with full awareness. As you develop this habit, you may experience a paradoxical truth that spirits of light understand deeply. In giving, we receive in ways that transcend material exchange. The soul expands through service, creating greater capacity for joy, wisdom, and connection. Cultivating authentic joy. The seventh habit, cherished by spirits of light, is the cultivation of genuine joy and celebration of life. Far from being a superficial emotion, authentic joy is a powerful spiritual state that aligns human consciousness with higher frequencies of existence. Light beings understand that joy is not dependent on external circumstances, but is a choice to recognize and participate in the inherent beauty of being alive. When you allow yourself to experience uncomplicated delight in a child's laughter, a sunset's colors, the taste of fresh food, or the harmony of music, you open portals through which spiritual light can enter more abundantly. Begin by identifying what brings you pure, simple joy, uncomplicated by ego concerns or social comparison. Then consciously make space for these experiences in your daily life. Notice how moments of genuine joy create a distinctive lightness in your energy field, a luminosity that naturally attracts spirits of elevated consciousness. There is profound spiritual power in celebration. When you mark transitions, acknowledge growth, or simply express gratitude for another day of life, you align with the cosmic rhythms of creation that spirits of light help orchestrate. These beings are drawn to those who recognize life as a precious gift worthy of celebration. Even in periods of challenge or grief, the capacity to find small moments of joy demonstrates spiritual maturity. This practice doesn't deny difficulty, but places it within a larger context of meaning and purpose. As you cultivate authentic joy, you'll find yourself more consistently attuned to the subtle guidance that light beings offer. Purifying your intentions. The eighth habit that attracts spirits of light is maintaining purity of intention in all your actions. These enlightened beings perceive not just what we do, but the underlying motivation behind our choices. When your intentions align with universal principles of love, truth, and service, you create a clear channel for higher guidance. Begin by examining your motivations before making significant decisions. Ask yourself, is this choice rooted in fear or love, in separation or unity, in ego gratification or authentic growth? This simple practice of self-inquiry gradually purifies your decision-making process. Spirits of light are particularly responsive to consistency between thought, word, and deed. When your outer actions reflect your inner commitments, you establish congruence that strengthens your energetic integrity. This alignment creates a trustworthy vessel through which wisdom can flow without distortion. Even in small daily choices, how you drive in traffic, interact with service workers, or respond to minor frustrations, your intentions create patterns that either invite or repel spiritual assistance. Practice bringing conscious awareness to these seemingly insignificant moments, recognizing them as opportunities to refine your spiritual connection. The ninth habit that spirits of light recognize as essential is the mindful care of your physical vessel. While these enlightened beings exist primarily in non-physical realms, they understand that for humans, the body serves as the primary instrument through which spiritual awareness is expressed and experienced. Your physical form is not separate from your spiritual nature, but is its most dense manifestation, a sacred temple housing the divine spark within you. When you treat your body with reverence and care, you create conditions that allow for clearer communion with higher frequencies of consciousness. Begin by bringing awareness to how you nourish this temple. The foods you consume carry their own vibrational signatures that either support or diminish your capacity to receive subtle guidance. Choose foods that are alive with life force. Fresh fruits, vegetables, clean water, and meals prepared with loving intention. Before eating, pause to acknowledge the sacred exchange taking place as other forms of life sustain your own. Movement is equally essential for maintaining the body as a clear channel. Regular physical activity circulates energy throughout your system, preventing stagnation that can block spiritual receptivity. Find forms of movement that bring you joy rather than treating exercise as punishment or obligation. Walking in nature, gentle stretching, or dance can be profound spiritual practices when approached with mindfulness. Rest, too, is a spiritual discipline. During deep sleep, your consciousness naturally shifts to realms where spirits of light can more easily communicate with your higher self. Honor your need for adequate rest, creating bedtime rituals that prepare your body and mind for this important transition. As you develop greater reverence for your physical form, you may notice increased sensitivity to environments, substances, or activities that diminish your vitality. This growing discernment isn't about judgment, but about honoring the temple that houses your spiritual journey on earth, the bridge of heartfelt prayer. The 10th habit that attracts spirits of light is the practice of sincere, heart-centered prayer. Unlike rote recitations or formulaic petitions, genuine prayer creates a direct channel between human consciousness and higher realms, a bridge across which light beings can travel to offer their guidance and support. The most powerful prayers arise not from the mind, but from the heart's deepest chambers. When you pray from this authentic center, you generate vibrational frequencies that resonate throughout multiple dimensions, reaching beings who respond to the call of sincere seeking. Begin by simplifying your approach to prayer. Rather than elaborate requests or negotiation with the divine, try sitting in silent communion with the intention to align with your highest good. Allow your heart to speak its truth without censorship or expectation. This vulnerability creates an opening through which spirits of light can most easily connect with your consciousness. Prayer need not be confined to formal sessions. Throughout your day, practice momentary connections, brief acknowledgements of the sacred nature of life unfolding around and through you. These spontaneous recognitions keep the channel of communication consistently open rather than requiring major adjustments to receive guidance. Remember that gratitude forms the foundation of effective prayer. When your prayers begin and end with thanksgiving, you establish a resonance that naturally attracts beings who exist in states of perpetual appreciation for the miracle of existence. This grateful approach transforms prayer from petition to partnership with the divine intelligence permeating all creation, embracing life's sacred cycles. The 11th habit, honored by spirits of light, is profound acceptance of life's natural cycles, particularly the sacred thresholds of birth and death. These enlightened beings understand that what humans perceive as beginnings and endings are actually transformations within an eternal continuum of consciousness. Develop the practice of acknowledging transitions in your life, both major passages and subtle shifts that mark your journey. Each change contains both a completion and an initiation, an opportunity to release what no longer serves while opening to new possibilities. Spirits of light are especially present during these threshold moments, offering guidance for integration and growth. Birth and death represent the most profound of these transitions, deserving particular reverence in spiritual practice. When you contemplate birth, whether of a child, a creative project, or a new phase of life, approach it with wonder at the mystery of manifestation. Similarly, when encountering death, of loved ones, of former identities, or of cherished dreams, recognize it as a doorway rather than an ending. This acceptance extends to the natural cycles of your own life, the waxing and waning of energy, the seasons of productivity and rest, the spiraling journey of learning and integration. Resisting these rhythms creates friction that blocks spiritual reception. Flowing with them creates harmony that attracts enlightened guidance. As you develop greater comfort with impermanence, you'll find yourself less attached to specific outcomes and more trusting of the intelligence guiding the universe. This trust creates spaciousness in your energy field that allows spirits of light to move more freely in your experience. The crown of humility. The 12th and culminating habit that draws spirits of light is the cultivation of genuine humility. This quality is frequently misunderstood as self-deprecation or diminishment, but true humility represents spiritual maturity, the wisdom to recognize both your divine nature and your place within the greater whole. Humility means acknowledging that you are simultaneously significant and small, a unique expression of consciousness with particular gifts to offer, yet just one note in the cosmic symphony. This balanced perspective creates the perfect conditions for partnership with enlightened beings who themselves serve the greater harmony. Practice releasing the need for recognition, validation, or special status in your spiritual journey. Notice how the ego seeks to claim spiritual experiences as achievements or use them to establish superiority. Each time you choose anonymity in service or refrain from showcasing spiritual insights, you strengthen your connection to beings who value essence over appearance. Humility also manifests as openness to continuous learning. When you approach each person and situation as a potential teacher, you create receptivity that spirits of light find particularly conducive to offering guidance. This perpetual beginner's mind keeps your spiritual channel clear of the obstructions that certainty and rigid knowing can create. Perhaps most importantly, humility involves honoring the divine spark in all beings, recognizing that spirits of light work through many unexpected channels. The stranger on the street, the challenging colleague, the struggling family member, each may be the vehicle for exactly the wisdom you need in a given moment. As you integrate these 12 habits into your daily life, you create a coherent field of elevated consciousness that naturally attracts beings of light. Your very existence becomes a lighthouse, guiding others toward their own highest potential, while serving as a clear vessel for wisdom that transcends ordinary understanding. In this sacred partnership between human and spirit, we fulfill our shared purpose, the gradual illumination of all existence through the simple, transformative power of love expressed in action. If these teachings have illuminated your path or stirred something within your spirit, I invite you to join our community of seekers. Subscribe to receive more wisdom on cultivating habits that align with higher frequencies. Your journey matters, and your presence here is no accident. Share in the comments below which of these 12 habits resonates most deeply with you right now. What practice will you commit to developing this week? Your insights may be exactly what another soul needs to hear. Remember, the path of light is walked one conscious step at a time, and we walk it more powerfully together. Subscribe, comment, and become part of this growing circle of light.